A very good evening and a warm welcome to yet another Wednesday with Parent Station. I, Anshita Kothari, Admin, Rajkot chapter of Parent Station, welcome you to yet another Wednesday book review session. In this current tech savvy generation where we have MacBooks, Kindles, tabs to read, have books, browse through them, will never replace the physical book that we have with a cup of hot chocolate or a chai ka cup. The feeling, the excitement of holding a book and reading can never be replaced with these Kindles or ebooks. I will insist parents for kids of a very young age, don't give them these gadgets to read. Always give them books which they can hold, feel the pages, look at the pictures, and cherish those moments. In the last Wednesday session, we discussed about a book for 4 to 7 years and tips about how and which books to share with kids for the age group 4 to 7. The few pointers were always sit with your child when he or she reads a book. The second was please no fairy tales in the age group of 4 to 7. Now, today I'm here with a book for the age 8 plus. Now, the 8 plus age kids are a little independent and they can read books themselves and we need not be present with them. But one thing that we can do is be available for them. Now, a very important thing that I would share with you over here is for the 8 plus kids, when they read by themselves, just give them a diary along with the book to jot down points, jot down thoughts, quotations, or proverbs. Now, how is this useful? When they have creative writing, essays in the schoolwork, they can use these thoughts, proverbs, and quotes to make their essays very creative. The second thing that I will share over here is at this age, the children can be provided with the fairy tales. The reason for providing fairy tales at this age is they will understand the evil or the good, and the best thing is they will understand the victory of good over evil. The other thing that I will point out over here is when they come across difficult words while reading a book, make sure you provide them with a dictionary so they can look up the dictionary and note it down. They will have a huge collection of synonyms. Uh, yes, one more important point that I will share over here is make your children develop the habit of reading books with a proper care. If possible, teach them to cover the books which they own it, which is their own from their personal collection. And the same goes for books which they get from the library. Never misuse it or handle it in a bad way. Ideally, if possible, teach the kids to cover the books. Second, and a very important point is please teach them no dog ears, please. Never fold the books to keep the page in mind. We can use bookmarks. I have some bookmarks over here to show you. We have various bookmarks available, or the kids on weekends can make a creative bookmark by themselves. The book that I have got today is one of my favorite author's book. The name of the book is The Magic Drum and Other Favorite Stories, and it is by Sudha Murthy. Now we all know about Sudha Murthy ma'am. Sudha Murthy ma'am has written a lot of books in English and Kannada. She is a prolific writer and her books are translated into all major Indian languages. She has covered a lot of things in all her books, but she mainly focuses on books for kids. With her experience of traveling all over for her work as well as her philanthropic work, she has come across people from all nooks of life, and she has taken their stories and converted into books using very simple language, simple vocabulary, which is easy for the kids to follow. Now, in this book, there are a lot of short stories just with 2 3 pages. I will share with you a story from this book. The name of the story is The Seed of Truth. It is about a country of with the name Gandhara, and the king's name is Vidyadhara. Now, Vidyadhara was very old and he was a very just ruler. He did not have any children to take over the reins of the kingdom. Now, the king was an avid gardener. He spent a lot of time tending his garden, planting the finest flowers, fruits, trees, and vegetables. One day, after finishing his garden work, he proclaimed, I will distribute some seeds to all the children in the kingdom. The one who grows the biggest, healthiest plant within 3 months will become the prince or princess. Now, the next day, there was a line of anxious parents and children to collect the seeds. There was a poor farmer with the name Pingala who, with his son, went to collect the seeds. Now, his son was very fond of gardening and he grew beautiful plants in the backyard. He took the seeds from the cling and planted it in a pot with great care. Some weeks passed. He plied it with water and manure, but the plant did not appear. Pingala tried changing the soil and transferred the seed to another pot. But even with doing so, at the end of 3 months, nothing appeared. On the last day, all the children collected near the palace to show the plants that they had grown. They started walking along next to the king's palace. Only Pingla stood sadly, watching them go by. Pingla's father watched his son working hard with the seeds and felt sorry for him. Why don't you go to the king with your empty pot? He suggested. At least he will know you tried your best. Now, here, this is very important. This is one thing which we can share with our kids also. It is very important that they put in a lot of hard work. It's not the result which matters, it is the work, the dedication with which we have done is important. I continue with the story. So Pingla too wore his best dress and joined the others outside the palace, holding his empty pot. The others laughed at him, but he ignored them. Soon the king arrived and began his inspection. The pots held flowers of beautiful shades. Some were healthy, some were tall, some were little ones. But the king did not look happy. At the end of the line stood Pingla, and when the king reached, he stopped in surprise. Child, why have you come with an empty pot? Could you not grow anything? Pingla looked down and said, Forgive me, Your Highness. I tried my best. I gave it the best soil and manure that I had, but the plant would not grow. Now the king's face broke into a smile. He enveloped Pingala in his arms and announced, Here is the crown prince. I had given everyone roasted seeds, which would never grow, just to see which child was the most honest one and would admit he or she had not been able to grow anything. Only this boy told the truth. I am sure he will rule this kingdom one day with truth and honesty. And indeed, that was what happened. When the king grew old and died, Pingla, who had learned everything from him, came to the throne and ruled Gandhara justly for many years. Now, isn't that a wonderful story? In such a simple language, with such simple words, but conveying such a deep meaning. The other stories in this book are also on these lines, with very simple language, but with some beautiful moral. Mothers, parents, I would like you to buy this book and read it with your kids. Now, I end this session and looking forward to meeting you the next Wednesday with another book. Thank you very much. On behalf of Parent Station, stay healthy, take care.